Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive.
It's great to be back.
So today we're going deep on Bitcoin.
Yeah, we are.
We've got some fascinating reports to break down,
A lot going on.
really giving us a pulse on,
Yeah.
what's moving the market.
Big time movements, for sure.
Institutional adoption,
Absolutely. Regulation.
the big things.
The big three.
Yeah.
So our mission here today
Our mission.
is to equip you
Yep.
with a clear and actionable understanding of where Bitcoin might be headed.
That's the goal.
Okay, let's do it.
First up,
Yeah.
Mt. Gox.
Oh, boy.
Now, Mt.
Yo.
Gox, I know you've been following this closely.
Closely, yeah.
They just moved a massive chunk of Bitcoin.
Huge.
11,501 to be exact.
Yep.
We're talking about $1 billion.
About that, yeah.
So help us understand,
Here.
what does this move mean?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
This Bitcoin is going to creditors who've been waiting for this moment for years.
Right.
And now they've got a decision to make.
A big one.
Do they hold?
Yeah. Or do they sell?
And that's the billion-dollar question.
Right.
Because if they flood the market,
Right.
it could have a major impact on price.
A lot of potential volatility for sure.
Exactly.
So yeah, all eyes are on those creditors right now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk price action.
All right.
Bitcoin has been kind of hovering in this $85,000 to $90,000 range.
Right around there. Yeah.
And we keep hearing about this 85,000 level being so crucial.
So crucial.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, when you look at the charts historically,
Yeah.
85,000 has been this major point of both support and resistance.
Okay.
You know, it's where the price has bounced off of before
Yeah.
and also where it's struggled to break through.
Got it.
So if we see a strong weekly close above 85,000,
Mm-hmm.
that could signal further upward momentum,
Okay.
potentially pushing us towards 90,000.
All right. So 90,000 is the next target.
Could be, yeah.
But if it doesn't hold above 85,000,
Then we could see a dip.
a correction.
A correction, exactly.
And some analysts are even saying it could go as low as 76,000.
Yeah. That's a level some are watching for sure.
So quite a range of possibilities there.
Definitely a lot to consider.
Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about some potentially positive news.
Okay, good.
There's been talk of the U.S. softening its stance on tariffs
I've heard that, yeah.
and the Federal Reserve potentially easing up on interest rate hikes.
So a more dovish FE.
Exactly.
Interesting.
What impact could these factors have on Bitcoin?
Well, if tariffs ease up,
Yeah.
it could signal a reduction in economic uncertainty,
Okay.
which often leads to more investment in riskier assets.
Like Bitcoin.
Exactly, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
And a dovish Fed could also be bullish for Bitcoin.
How so?
Well, if interest rates stay lower,
Mm-hmm.
it makes assets like Bitcoin that have the potential for high growth more attractive.
Oh, I see. So it's all about relative attractiveness.
Yeah, compared to, say, bonds or savings accounts, that might yield very little.
Makes sense. Now let's shift gears and talk about the big players.
Okay, the institutions
Exactly.
of it.
Strategy just hit a major milestone.
They did it.
They now hold over 500,000 Bitcoin.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
It's a staggering amount.
They're not messing around.
I mean, they just bought another 6,911 Bitcoin
Yeah, I saw that.
for $584 million.
They're all in.
So what's the message here?
Well, to me, it just reinforces the idea that Bitcoin is becoming a legitimate part of corporate treasury strategies.
It's like a digital gold rush for these companies.
I like that. Yeah, a digital gold rush.
And then we have BlackRock.
Interesting.
Their head of crypto actually said that a recession could be good for Bitcoin.
Did he really?
Yeah, he thinks it could push Bitcoin more towards being seen like a tech stock
Interesting take.
rather than a safe haven asset like gold.
So aligning it with growth potential rather than just a store of value.
Exactly.
So instead of fleeing to Bitcoin during a recession for safety,
Right.
investors might see it as an opportunity for big returns like they do with high growth tech companies.
Right, and that's a very different way of looking at it.
Absolutely. It shows how the perception of Bitcoin is evolving.
Really fascinating.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, on to regulation.
All right.
The U.S. seems to be taking some steps toward making it easier for banks to get involved with crypto.
I've heard some rumblings about that.
Yeah, the OCC is reportedly easing some of the hurdles.
Interesting.
And over in Japan,
Yeah.
USDC just got approved as a stablecoin issuer.
That's big.
So what does all of this mean for the crypto world?
Well, it's all about mainstream adoption.
Oh,
When banks have an easier time getting involved,
Yeah.
it can bring a lot more liquidity into the market, which
Right.
is good for everyone.
And stable coins.
Stablecoins.
They're so crucial.
Absolutely.
They help bridge the gap between traditional finance and crypto.
And they provide stability,
Right.
which can make people more comfortable using crypto for everyday transactions.
And when people are more comfortable using crypto,
Then the whole ecosystem benefits.
including Bitcoin,
Yeah, Bitcoin is still the king.
it all comes back to Bitcoin.
In many ways, it does.
Okay, last but not least,
Hit me.
let's talk predictions.
All right, crystal ball time.
Arthur Hayes.
Oh, Arthur.
He's predicting Bitcoin could hit $110,000
Oh,
and then eventually even $250,000.
wow.
He's pointing to quantitative easing as a major driver.
So more money printing, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could definitely fuel Bitcoin's rise.
And what's interesting
Yeah.
is that the betting markets seem to agree on that 110,000 target for next year.
So there's some consensus there.
But they're a little less confident about those higher targets,
Makes sense.
like 150,000 or
A
200,000.
little more cautious about those longer-term predictions,
Right.
which is understandable, especially after that recent dip below 80,000.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of cautious optimism right now.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today. We've got potential volatility from those Mt. Gox transfers.
Yeah, that's a big unknown.
These critical price levels around 85,000.
Make or break levels right there.
Major institutions like Strategy doubling down on their Bitcoin holdings.
That's a vote of confidence.
New perspectives on Bitcoin's role in a potential recession.
Yeah, that's a fascinating angle.
Positive regulatory developments that could boost adoption.
Yeah, things are moving in the right direction there.
And market sentiment leaning toward near-term gains, but with a bit of caution.
Cautious optimism. I like that.
Exactly.
A good way to be.
So with all these interconnected forces at play,
It's a complex landscape.
it really is.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Hmm.
What single factor do you think will be the biggest driver of Bitcoin's price action in the coming months?
That's a tough one.
And why?
So much to consider.
I know.
I'll let our listeners ponder that one.
That's something for everyone to think about.
A little food for thought.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
It's been a pleasure as always.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.